Alright, man, so today we finally got our next set of resurrection news. In this case, continuing on with the 1000-year blood resurrections, we have Lige, Nanao, and also Gremmy receiving their newfound upgrades. Honestly, I've been looking forward to this one. It is featuring 2 more Sternritter and also Nanao. There's potential with all 3 of these characters, but at the same time, for some reason, I'm not expecting anything crazy like last month, maybe just better links overall. Now, one other main reason why I am excited for this banner is because Lige is the only character, only 1000-year blood character from like the original 14 manga rounds. He's the only one I never pulled, and he's always been just avoiding me for some reason. I've literally every character here besides Lige, and he's basically the only character from the year 2020 that I'm actually missing. Once I get him, which I can now do with the character pack once he does get resurrected, I'll basically have every character from 2020, and at that point I'll only be missing a few characters from 2021, this being Kugo, and then just the random set of movie characters that we got. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to buy a character pack, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. But that's only if he does get a good resurrection. So with that said then, let's have a look at each character, talk about what they deserve to get with their resurrection, and then see what they actually do pick up upon resurrecting. Now is one of those weird characters. Granted, she did come out around the time we did start to get the Espada GQ, but she's always been a weird one because she's an SP character. For the range Espada guild quest, her SA2 in particular is a melee attack, and her damage output was never high that it was really ever worth bringing her, despite it for quite some time being the best team booster for the range Espada guild quest. I guess in that sense, because that's the only thing she's good at right now, you might as well double down on it, right? Just give her overall more damage output, and then most importantly, make her SA2 a booster attack, so instead of giving 33% attack and focus, it goes up to 43%. That would make her overall better, but at the same time, she's never going to compete with the current booster that we currently use, that being Yukio. So if anything, the thing I'm expecting most out of this character is just to be an overall good, solid soul trait. Because having a look at the skills, she has Berserker, Bruiser, Debilitator, Devastation, Enhancer, Frenzy, Havoc, and also Sprinter +1. Remember, these characters are going to get 2 innate skills here, so she is going to pick up 2 new skills. And maybe a 9th skill, I kind of forgot already. I know it's already been a month, but I think, yeah, 1000-year blood character get 9 skills and then 2 innate skills. So she's actually going to pick up 3 skills here. What could those be? Well, let's find out. And just to preface, we are doing a tab of different. Shout out to Mollyprint for posting on Reddit. So when it comes to these soul traits, if we scroll down enough, we can see here is strong attack recharge and full stamina strong attack damage. That's actually really good here. Very similar soul traits to what we saw with Mugetsu. It's basically the exact same soul trait. 20% more strong attack damage when you are at full stamina. When it comes to the skills though, she did get multi-barrier. That's something I failed to actually mention. That makes sense. Multi-barrier is good. Her Berserker's gone up to 60%. That's quite noteworthy. That generally is because it's a 40% strong attack damage increase. Now, I would love for it to go to 100%, right? But it's rare for us to see Berserker go up that much. Usually, it's like an extra 10, maybe 20%. In her case, she got a 40% Berserker increase. Alongside that, she did get the booster skill, so that's actually really good. That SA2 right now is actually setting up to be actually really promising in Guild Quest because you're getting the barriers. 5 barriers in this case. Even if her SA2 isn't doing damage here, it is playing the role as a support. You're getting the 5 barriers, or more so for yourself, 3 barriers for your teammates, and then now you're also getting the 43% attack, focus, and defense increase. That looks really, really good. And then her innate skills is weaken resistance, and also Sprinter +1, because it does appear that Sprinter +1 here did get moved into her innate skills. So she's now actually immune to the weakening, the status element that you will be seeing in the range Espada guild quest. So definitely tells me here that this is a Espada GQ focused resurrection, and honestly I think that's for the best. She ended up being a very solid soul trait. Recharge and more strong attack damage at full stamina is one of the best soul traits you can get right now. She overall got a notable damage increase, an extra 40% Berserker, with of course the extra stats now from the boost attack. That's more noteworthy with your teammates. And then you also have multi-barrier and the weaken resistance. She's unironically now going to be a somewhat usable character, I would like to say, in the Ranger Spada guild quest. And actually, the resurrection is perfectly timed. For those that aren't aware, she's scheduled to get resurrected on the 13th of this month, so only a couple days away. But on the 14th, around 24 hours after this character gets resurrected, we are going to get the Ranger Spada guild quest, where maybe it's worth taking it into that quest. She will be doing some damage on her strong attacks, mainly the SA1 and 3, and at the same time, she can actually paralyze. Granted, she doesn't have an increased chance to inflict paralysis, but if you are using her with Misaki, for example, there's some potential there. In the very, very random chance that she inflicts paralysis instead of Misaki, well then Misaki's doing more damage to those paralyzed enemies. And if you are using someone like Abirama in your team and find that your team's still taking damage and you want to keep them at full stamina, maybe those barriers from the now would actually be helpful. So I would say an overall solid resurrection. She again is a character that was more so only ever really used for the most part in the Ranger Spada guild quest, and her resurrection focused on that. that, so I would say it was a good one. And she's also a good link, so right now we're 1 for 1 with good resurrections, at least in my opinion. Next up though, we have Grammy. Now, Grammy is a character I think deserves better. He was the character that wasn't really bad on release, but given that, you know, at this time, every character had the same damage output. Everyone basically had 20% Berserker. There wasn't much separating every character besides the strong attacks they did get. His SA2, his SA3 were great, but then his SA1 was a range collision attack. And given that he was a Quincy Stamritter Mines character with a Rank Killer, he was just overshadowed by someone like Candace, who came out a few months prior. Realistically, the only special thing that he did have was that he was immune to status augments, every status augment, which at the time was quite noteworthy, given that the only character that had this prior to him was 1000 Year Blood War Mayuri, who came out like a year before, I believe, maybe a few months before. And Kisuke, actually. It was Kisuke too. Kisuke was the first one to introduce this. He was the third character to have this complete stats immunity. So with that in mind, when it comes to the soul traits, I would like to see full stamina damage or strong attack damage. Obviously, more strong attack damage at full stamina isn't a bad thing, but we already have 2 characters like that. That being Hikone and also Zombie Toshiro. I guess a third one wouldn't be too bad. I would like to think he's going to get a good resurrection here. Maybe, hopefully not stam recovery or something like that. I don't think he's going to get a status infliction soul trait because he does have burn and lacerate. It'd be awkward if he did have, you know, damage to burn when one of his attacks don't inflict burn. Likewise, if he had damage to lacerate, that would be even worse. But then maybe that'd be a good soul trait for someone like Ishin. In this case, though, I would love to see an increase in his Berserker. Again, just like the now, let's take that to 60%. At this point, I guess the only other way to increase his damage output is by giving him full stamina damage or the SP boost. That with an increased chance to inflict stat damage would also be really cool in my opinion. At the same time, Guard Break as a skill would be also good here. He isn't a Ronka killer, and a Ronka enemies have guard. Range guard in particular. So if he was able to break the guard, that would make him a lot better. Not really sure what else this character could get, so let's have a look what he does pick up. So first and foremost, his soul trait is actually a recharge and more strong attack damage when at full stamina. That's actually really good. That right now is the third link in the mind attribute that does have that. So if you don't want to go with 3 soul traits that all just give more strong attack damage at full stamina, you can do that now. When it comes to his Berserker value, unfortunately, he only got a 10% increase, but that's fine because he makes up for it because once more, we're getting another character with the 50% SP boost. On Grammy, that actually seems very, very solid. And at the same time, he got a team party buff, mind attribute Quincy damage to status afflicted enemies plus 30%. That's actually really strong. And at the same time, if you look here, right, the character itself also did pick up Guard Break. This is actually another really good resurrection. And you can, in a way, probably forgive the Berserker only going up 10% because he did get 20% here. So technically, he got a 30% strong attack damage increase with the extra 50% SP with the Guard Break. And then when you do inflict a status augment, keep in mind the character itself doesn't have an increased chance to do so. But when you do inflict a status augment, you are going to do 30% more damage. And that can also be good for any future Mind Quincy killer, or Quincy character more so. We saw with the recent Masaki that we're finally getting some decent support characters for Quincy's because, again, they are lacking it. They're lacking characters in general, but it's understandable. Now with the anime back, we are getting more Stamritters getting resurrections, Quincy's are getting new characters, and then it does open the door for these support characters to actually be useful in content like Guild Quest. As of right now, besides the fact that this 30% damage to status afflicted enemies increases his damage output, at the same time, I guess it increases, you know, someone like Candace's, but most importantly, I would say it increases someone like Esnot's damage output. So yeah, another really good solid resurrection. Right now, we're 2 for 2. Right now, we're 2 for 2. Last up, though, let's have a look at Li Jie. And yes, his name is pronounced Li Jie. It's not Li or Lil. It's Li Jie. That's how you pronounce it. Now, truth be told, I'm really not sure what to expect of a character like this. And I guess to me, personally, this is going to be a prelude to the upcoming 5th anniversary Byakuya's resurrection. And to a certain extent, someone like Nini and Noah whenever they get resurrected, because he's a character that can't inflict status augments. And as of right now, a character that can't inflict status augments isn't really that good outside of maybe Inheritance Shells when they have Pierce Iron Skin. And that's really the only way I can see his character being good. He could get the Purity skill, which increases his damage to enemies that aren't inflicted with a status augment, but I don't think that's going to help him out. Really, I don't think it is. That's probably the route they're going to go down. But whatever skill this character does pick up, I'm going to assume other characters like Nini Noel and also 5th anniversary Byakuya are going to pick up. And maybe this isn't the most appropriate character to do it to, but we did see in the past that certain characters did become farmers when resurrecting. I would still love to see that with resurrections. Not necessarily, again, this character. I mean, if they wanted to give him +5 super pots, Pierce Iron Skin, and more damage to enemies not afflicted with status augment, which by hereafter we're only going to call Purity, that would be good. That would be good. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love to see some old characters just become farmers, especially ones like this where I don't see myself ever using them in Guild Quests. Either way though, when it comes to his soul trait, he's a recharge soul trait. For the sake of it, since the other two characters did get the exact same soul trait, let's assume here he's going to get more strong attack damage when at full stamina, which for the power attribute wouldn't honestly be a bad thing. I believe that would be its second soul trait, but recharge, full stamina damage wouldn't be too bad. At the same time, maybe he's going to go down the route that Nemi went down, where he got a 16% purity soul trait. That could also happen. When it comes to his damage output, though, he has Berserker, Bruiser, Devastation, Frenzy, Guard Break already, so he's one of the few characters that have Guard Break built in. Havoc, Hit an enemy, and also Sprinter +1. So I think he's going to get one new skill, and then again 2 innate skills. I would say 50% purity, maybe full stamina damage, and then I'm really not sure what his other skill could be. Long Stride, maybe? Because again, there's not much you can do for this character's damage output, right? You can't give them a 50% SP boost. So with that said, let's go ahead and check it out, right? So Lige got the... Whoa! Whoa! Okay, hold on. So he got 12% recharge. He got the 16% purity. That's actually really good. They changed his hidden enemy skill to that with Pierce Iron Skin. That's not bad. That's not bad. I believe his Berserker value was always 40%, and then he did get the Purity 50% skill. That's actually insane. And then unfortunately, as bad as this sounds, I don't actually like these skills. He did get 2 new innate skills. Read, Dodge, Soripa, and Evade Soripa damage. So... that's not bad. I mean, these 2 skills are, like, somewhat decent, right? Like, you could see the use of that. Maybe you could use it in the weekly quest. I don't know. Maybe it's good in, you know, Senkamon. But again, you can just give the character re-dodge through bonus abilities. But, you know, I'm not going to lie. I actually like that. Now, the power attribute as a whole lacks a character like this. So, unironically, if you wanted to play Inheritance Trials and you want to clear fast, this Lige might be the best character to use, right? Because, you know, his damage output... it's a 40% Berserker with 66% purity. You know, it's not crazy high compared to some of the newer characters, but Inheritance Trials, the enemies themselves don't have that much HP. It's just that they have Iron Skin. And he has Pierce Iron Skin, so he might unironically be one of the better characters to use Inheritance Trials, especially if you have someone like Mashiro as a soul trait. You can actually make him a super Linksa farmer. Again, I would have preferred, as we spoke about before, they made him a farmer. You know, instead of having these re-dodge skills or evade Soripa, they gave him a Linksa potion and super Linksa potion. That would have been absolutely insane. Having said that though, for resurrection standards, this has definitely exceeded my expectation. This is actually a really good resurrection. A lot more damage, and he most importantly got Pierce Iron Skin. That's the first character in the game right now to have this soul trait. And remember too, Lige in particular has a really good strong attack kit. Literally the strong attack kit that other farmers like this have. Tensei Zangetsu, Senjumaru, round 16, Concord Ichigo, right? He has the perfect kit for the skills that he did pick up. In a way, in a very weird way, this character with these skills could have been released today as a mid-month, maybe? And it would have actually been kind of good. So I'm actually really liking this character. And again, all 3 of these characters got good soul traits, but all in general got really good damage increases for the most part, right? Now, for the most part, was always a guild quest character, but someone that you didn't really want to bring. Now, unironically, maybe it is worth bringing her. Yes, her SA2 is still going to have the problem of it being a melee attack, but she's going to somewhat pair well with someone like Misaki, and most importantly, does boost and protect the team. Grammy basically got everything you want, a good soul trait, 50% SP boost, more Berserker, more damage output in general, and also Guard Break. The only thing he is lacking here is an increased chance to inflict stat elements, but that's kind of fine. I can kind of forgive it. And then Lige, again, significantly more damage, and for the first time ever, goes through Iron Skin. Really, really solid resurrections. Very happy about these. Another set of really good resurrections, and that means next month, if Caleb want to continue on with the 1000-year Blood resurrections, I think they might take a break for the time being. We'll have to wait and see how it does go, right? Because this time next month, I believe it's going to be... I'm actually not sure. Is this swimsuit resurrections? I need to double check. But there's a chance mid-June we do get these characters resurrected. In this case, it would be Yamamoto, Chojuro, and also Izuru. Now, truth be told, I'm not really sure what these characters do need or want. But then after that, it's Misaki, Ishin, and also Ryukin, and then after that, it's the big boys. Big Boy and Go. Round 14, Ichigo, and also Rukia getting their resurrections. But maybe they're going to slow down on it a bit, because at this point, once round 14 gets resurrected, we're not going to have a single 1000-year Blood resurrection for a very long time, because we didn't get a single banner of 1000-year Blood for a very long time, right? The entire FT of 2021, 2022 didn't give us 1000-year Blood War. Eventually, 2023 came around to give us 1000-year Blood War. So it's going to be a while before we get 1000-year Blood resurrection resurrections once more once the first 14 rounds are done. But that's kind of fine because then they can finally probably start getting around to doing Calm for Your World and then eventually Safwi. Now, in terms of the next resurrection batch, if it is going to be a premium batch, because these characters are getting resurrected upcoming 13th, it means we are going to get another resurrection batch at the end of the month. But if it is going to be premium, it does mean that it's going to be Rukia, Kioni, and Sentomaro, and also Isana getting their resurrections. The standout here being Rukia, given that she is a 14% recharge soul trait. Although because we are getting swimsuits at the end of the month, I guess swimsuits are going to be done now or in 2 weeks time or so. To be fair though, it is hard to say because last year we did get this banner resurrect at the end of August, so there is a chance they could push back the swimsuits for, you know, a month or two, but my guess is that they're going to be done around June or July. If we scroll down further enough though, back in 2021, these characters did get resurrected mid-July, so I guess that's possible. I would say end of month June, middle of July is when the swimsuit characters are going to get resurrected, but then again, if we are going to get another 1000-year Blood War resurrection next month, they take priority in the middle of the month. So that would therefore push back this banner till end of July, which again wouldn't happen because that's when anniversary characters get resurrected. So yeah, if swimsuits get resurrected, it's going to be this upcoming end of month. If not, it's happening in August. And if it is going to be swimsuit resurrections, it is going to be Halle Bell, Apache, and also Nemu. All three actually very solid characters that I would love to see how they would get upgraded. But either way, we can talk about that at a later date when the timing is right. Either way, that's the video for today, going over the 3 new resurrectable characters, Gremmy, Nanao, and Lige. Very solid upgrades. Let me know what you guys think about them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.